Hello and good day to you, my beautiful friends. I do hope you are well. Welcome to episode 100, hey, of CrossButton VR, our journey into the world of VR. Now, I'm your host, Laurie, and it is an honor to be joined by two of the most enduring influencers in their metaverse. It's Alex and Reece. We did it, chaps. We did it. We made it to episode 100.
Yes.
Can you believe it?
Finally.
Said it couldn't be done. They said no one will be able to make 100 episodes about the PlayStation VR 2. And yet here we are.
Well,
With a little sprinkle of some other VR. Yeah.
Yeah, we might have had to diluted the purity of this one, but yeah,
We
it's
had
all
to.
good. It's all good. We don't like it. We don't. We're not fanboys. We're not fanboys on this show.
No, just you, Laura.
Just me. Yeah, just me.
Would you say
no matter how hard we try to deviate, you always manage to rein it back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he won't pay for PS Plus, so he's not completely in their pockets yet.
No, I told you, I'm Xbox all the way these days.
Well, I got my 35% off, so I was quite happy. So
Yeah, that seems like worth it.
Yeah, I was going to say a little PSA there, but I think it's only on sale till the 4th. So by the time this episode drops, you will be too late.
Oh no, you'll have
you have a few hours actually. Yeah, you got a few hours to get it.
So be quick.
I will probably wait for days of play. I might do it then. I might wait for days of play. I think that'll be later in the year. I could probably hold out till then. I don't need it till then. There's so much stuff to play already. I don't need any more free games.
You could come and play Ancient Dungeons VR multiplayer update on February the 6th.
Oh, I couldn't I?
I need to get that still.
Yeah,
But
team have that in the news, so that's nice. You just pepper that in there.
No? There you go.
Straight in there.
I might have made up the date, but I'm sure I've seen something that said February.
I don't know the date, but I knew of the update.
No, I'm far too grumpy and tired to be playing multiplayer games. But yeah, so good.
Helldivers.
So congratulations. I presume in post you guys are going to edit in some sort of balloons and party hats and streamers and birthday celebration stuff.
Alex is really good at it.
The hat as we're getting.
Yeah. I did contemplate running to the shops around the corner to see if they actually had in like party stuff, and then I was like, nah.
Happy 100th birthday.
I got a haircut especially.
Oh,
Is
nice.
that not enough?
Yeah, we totally noticed.
Sure, that's enough. Good. Well, 100 episodes. So tonight we are just going to be chatting over our favourite episodes. We're going to have a bit of a reminisce, looking back over some of our favourite moments from the first 100 episodes of this podcast. Looking back. Should be nice. We've got a fair bit of news to get through as well. The games start coming and they don't stop coming, as they say. But first, before that, if people want to support us, they can give us a sub on whatever service they're using. Like, subscribe, give us a comment. Follow us also on Blue Sky at CrossButton VR and also on TikTok and Facebook and anywhere else you happen to do your socializing online. That's where you'll find us at CrossButton VR.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So,
So,
I was going to say, I suppose we should give a big thank you to Golu as well for his little donation. Bless him. Thank you very much for that.
yeah. And is it Kofi? Kofi or
yeah.
Ko-Fi?
I completely forget we have it because we never mention it. Like it's one of them things we never mention.
Yeah, we get it in the show notes.
And I'm kind of glad we don't put it out there. Really, it's nice of him to even mention it. So it's kind of like a shock. So thank you so much, Golu, for wanting to do that for us.
We've never been in it for the money. I think that's
good.
Exactly.
No, be in the wrong platform if we were.
Well, exactly.
Yes, no, thank you for your kind gift. Yes, and thanks to everyone who chats with us on Discord. As we look back over the 100 episodes, thank you. I think we're talking about our favourite moments of the show, but I think our favourite thing about doing this really is the little community that we've got and we've built between ourselves and the Discord and people online on Twitter and now Blue Sky. It's really great to just bring people together and have people to talk about. There's so many people called Phil. They're Reece, yourself, and they're just
Phils.
Yeah, it seems like there's so many kind of great new friends we've made through making this podcast.
It's
not
been
least if there was a PS VR 2 census done, I think Phil would be the top name that people that own PSVR 2.
Does seem that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you are called Phil and you want a place to communicate with other Phils, then please join the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're already there and haven't told us that your name is Phil, then please let us know your name's Phil.
Yeah, the Discord, you can find it in the show notes or website or just, I don't know,
link tree, all that jazz.
Links everywhere for it. But yeah, do jump in and say hello. Tell us what you've been playing. And if you want anyone to play Contractor Showdown with, Reece is your man. He'll be there. He'll be waiting to hear your call.
Or
Yeah.
Breachers.
Or
Yeah,
Breaches.
breaches. More so
Breaches.
breaches.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what you're still playing that most days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every now and then I jump in.
Amazing.
At least once a week sometimes.
Ghostbusters as well. You still play that every day? No? That's just one for Ben.
Moving on.
No comment.
Moving on. So yeah, no. What do you guys have? You got any kind of highlights you can think of from our first 100 episodes that you want to give a shout out to?
I just
Reminisce
remember-
about.
I remember moments more so than like the episode titles or
Yeah, no, you don't
It's
remember the episode title.
good,
Yeah,
'cause
moments are good.
when you-
Moments are good.
when you said, "Oh yeah, go back through some of the episodes, have a little watch," I was like, "I'm not going through 99
You don't
fucking
go back,
episodes."
just remember. It's just it was not homework.
No, I think for me, because obviously I started out as a viewer, also as part of the show, and just obviously, I mean, up until when I joined, I mean, I still watched parts of them to kind of spot mistakes and do the timestamps and things like that. So you're still watching them, but the early days, I mean, like the week before, and then the week when you got the PSVR 2, just the general enthusiasm that you, Alex, and Ben all showed was just crazy. Like it's that beginner's enthusiasm for VR was, I'd say there, I think that was quite a highlight because it was just so intoxicating of how much you lot were just really hyped to play this thing. And I think it was shared with everyone else who was really excited for the PSVR 2. So I think for me, that was definitely a highlight, just seeing that, because that was like how I was with my first VR headset. And I was like, oh yeah, I completely get what they're doing. This is great. And Ben's silly moments, you know, his stupid one-liner jokes, you know, sprinkled in few, you know, they were good. Alex dropping the C-bomb every once in a while. Yeah, that episode where Alex dropped the C-bomb within, what was it, like 20 seconds? And
I say once in a while. It's a weekly.
Yeah, 20 seconds in, somebody commented about it, and he cut it out. He cut it out, and I was really gutted that he cut it out because, damn, what a shame. It's perfect.
I'm pretty sure I was talking about Phil too as well.
I think he was actually, yeah. So yeah, it was a bit of a. But no, I think in terms of like you all talking about VR, I think some of the moments, just the early day moments of, you know, understanding the headset and using it, I think I found that quite nice. I think Ben's, you know, sickness getting through it all was quite funny as well. Because like, how are you getting on this game, Ben? I felt sick after the first race. You know, there's always like this sickness meter for him, which was quite amusing to listen to.
Well, that's ultimately what did it for Ben, wasn't it? And he had to kind of step away because he never was able to overcome that sickness thing. So, you know, 2 out of 3 of us not bad.
It is a shame. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure everyone can get over it, but yeah, he never managed to.
And then he bought a Steam Deck, and we just lost him forever.
Yeah,
Alex has got him now.
I've got him in a cupboard. Yeah.
Hey, if you still want to hear Ben, just tune into the Mimics Fail. Search the Mimics Fail on all of your podcatchers. You'll find Ben every week.
You
You will. And I mean, for some of my favourite moments, that whole Gran Turismo thing, like, really, it makes me laugh because Gran Turismo is what sold Ben on PSVR 2, and the fact that he was never able to complete like a lap on Gran Turismo is like, it's quite sad, but at the same time, it's funny.
Was it Ryan McCaffrey, the guy who did the
Yeah.
trailer for it? Because I remember before we got it, we were like, just check. We were all kind of on our WhatsApp group before. We're like, oh, who's going to get one? We're going to get one. And I think it was only really me and then I think you that were like properly sold on it. And then I think that preview that got Ben. He's like, yeah, I really want this now. I really want this. I just this guy playing. Yeah, I like Ryan McCaffrey, and he's just talking about Gran Turismo 7. That sounds amazing. I can't miss out on that. So he was all in, and he was a big GT7 fan as well because I think he'd already completed the campaign. So yeah. Hilarious. Poor Ben. Gentle Ben.
Well, I mean, and then when you mentioned Ryan McCaffrey, I think Ben's thumbnail for that episode with Ryan McCaffrey and the feather duster was definitely a highlight.
Yeah, dusting off the PSVR 2.
Yeah, we definitely miss his thumbnails. I dropped one in the group chat the other day just because some of them are just so fucking unhinged. Like, it's like, yeah, I don't know why you got the mindset to do that one. Like, I think it was the 6-month checkup one I dropped in there because I just found that thumbnail it's just so ridiculous. Like, it's crazy. So yeah, he's very unhinged with his thumbnails. Bless him.
Yeah, it's just you can see he works in marketing. He just feels a bit, I think, so outside the box sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
I like the one, the Can VR Get You Fit thumbnail where he Well, he photoshopped all of your
All of
faces
my heads,
onto these. He just was able to use mine as it was, so they didn't need to do any photoshopping with me. But the rest of you had to Photoshop your heads onto these like huge, muscly bodies. But yeah, so yeah, I think that was a classic one from Ben.
Yeah.
That was one of his finest ones. I remember him saying like, "Take a picture of yourselves in the gym." Like what? Like I'm not
In the
not
gym?
going. Yeah, I'm not putting his headset on in the gym, Ben. What are you talking about? It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Do an angry face or something like that, like stern look type thing. He used to stupid questions. So
But yeah, no, I mean, that's really nice to hear about the our initial enthusiasm, and that was, I think, was always the kind of idea behind it. Really, it's just to come at it with a whole kind of fresh set of eyes, or 3 fresh pairs of eyes,
yeah,
and just have that going in complete, well, VR versions. That's what we assured ourselves at the start, just without any kind of baggage or think, oh, this is shit, or this, everything was new and fun and interesting for us. And I think with sort of what we tried to just embrace everything. And when we started playing it, and I think we were just like blown away how generous publishers were at being willing to support us and give us access to games, which is fantastic. We thought, we'd get a few codes to buy some stuff, and we'll buy some stuff, but we were really well supported by publishers and PR managers, and it's been absolutely fantastic. And that's continued for the whole time we've been doing the show. Just they're really keen to give us a chance, give us the opportunity to play the games, and we just feel so fortunate to be able to do that. We're so lucky to be able to do that and to get access to these games and play them and talk about them. And I think for a lot of them, we love being able to give them that platform and to give them that exposure, just to have that enthusiasm and excitement for it. And I think the Ryan McCaffrey Feather Duster thing was just a reaction to the fact it was driving us nuts that people were saying, "Oh, there's no games come out for it," or after the because there's this kind of idea that if it's not a Sony first party exclusive, it doesn't count as a game, or if it's not a Resident Evil, it doesn't count as a game. And we were like, "This is just so much on here," because we were getting provided with these codes to play the games, and we're like, "This is amazing! We're getting to play." All these incredible games every week. We'll come back and we're talking about things like The Last Clockwinder that was just like, you have to play this, it's so good. And then
I still haven't played that.
Oh well, you should go back, because that was one of my highlights. Was episode of 18. We got to interview John Austin from Pontico, who's the creator of The Last Clockwinder, and that was, I think, the first interview of a game that I think we really got into talking about a game, and I left there thinking, wow, I feel like I was really proud of what we put out there, because I thought that was a really interesting chat. And I feel like we've got some, because it's not like anyone else is interviewing these VR developers.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not like IGN don't cover any of this bloody stuff, and so they're not interviewing people. So the fact that we can actually give these, it's a bit like when you talked about on Mimic's Fail last week, Alex, about these dev diaries, about how and the developer directs that Xbox do, and it's good to be able to see the developers and hear them, and just to actually learn a bit more about the inspiration behind these games and stuff, and then we're giving developers that chance. And I just always love our conversations that we have with the developers. It's always so fascinating and so interesting, and they always just sort of fly by when we have them.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd say like the one we did with Kane was quite like that. Like I feel like we proper fanned at the time when we were talking to him. And I've said that to him countless times now. I feel like that's how we were when we were talking to him about the game, because we both walked away from that game so happy with it that when we started talking to him about it, it was like, tell us more, like kind of thing.
Well, that first interview we did with Kane and Brian, that was one we really sort of got into the in depth about how you tell stories in VR, and what Kane was that wasn't going to be the title of the interview or the episode, but Kane was just so interesting how he was sort of bringing all that out and explain that to us, and how the sort of challenges are, how you, when a player can just literally just walk off or just look away or just get distracted, how you tell stories and how you keep people's attention and make sure they don't miss crucial plot points. And it's like, this is really interesting stuff here. And now I can sort of take that away, and when I'm playing other VR games, I can see when they're telling me a story how they are holding my attention and stuff. And I feel like I've learned from these interviews.
Yeah, no, I mean, the interviews have been so much fun. We've had such a breadth of people across the industry as well. Like, but I think the first one we had was Jorg, and then I think the kind of first, and then we had GP from Talk About Mini Golf, and that takes me back to like one of my highlights again of one of my favourite moments, and it was when we done the episode of what like the games we were most looking forward to, and I picked a game that was coming the week after, and Ben picked a DLC, and you were going off your head, and you're like, You completely
Remember that,
missed the point, and then
Yeah,
walk about
so
mini golf, come out the next week and blew us away, and it's never gone away. So it was like, I was right.
but yeah, it was supposed to be okay. What's on the kind of the big games on the horizon that are coming down the line that we can talk about? The things to get hyped for. We were like, well, there's an update coming to the SIP Riders next week. Like, that's your most hyped thing. Like what?
Yeah, rightfully so.
That was funny.
But yeah, I think Ben just infuriated me. That one just
Is it the
characteristic
RE4?
way.
He said he just wanted
Just a VR update.
It was just VR.
Yeah. Although in hindsight, that is fantastic. So I'll forget. I'll let him off that one there. Yeah. And I would also give a shout to. I think we can't not mention Masternoid. Alex,
No, we can't.
That's
that whole arc was like.
I think it was when we did our top 10 games for it, and you brought Master, and Ben and I were like, we've never heard of that game. We're not having that in our top 10. I've literally no idea what this game is. And you were like, fuck off, no, I'm having it in the top 10. We're like, no, it's not. We've never heard of it. You've made it up. I was adamant. I genuinely thought you might have been trolling us, just making something up. And then obviously after that episode, you got me and Ben code for it. We played it as well, and we're like, fuck. He's right. Bastard. And so then I think the next episode we literally reviewed it and we all just gushed about it. And then the episode after that we got the devs on. We were chatting to them about it and they were like, they would just pound it. They're all really hilarious how because they'd obviously listened to every episode. Which I find as well amazing that the developers and things are actually tuning in and listening, and I love that. So hello to everyone that develops the games that we love, and thank you for the work you do. But particularly the Masternoid devs, because that was great. We loved interviewing them, and they were so
it's great to have Petros on, and like it was such a fun experience. And you even had like the community coming and talking to us about it. Because I remember, was it Jimmy? I'm sure it was Jimmy that we had on, and he kind of sent me a message like he's just loving this Masternoid stuff. So like it's just like it was the way it all kind of the dominoes kind of started falling. I was like no, and then
that's what I was going to say.
It was just so good.
It was all we didn't plan to become obsessed with it.
No,
we just ended up taking over a month of the show, just talking about it every week.
I remember after Alex started raving about that game, I saw some reviews pop up from different creators as well. And I mean, I reviewed it because I heard it from here as well. But the one that was like, I think it's Gritty when he used to do reviews, and he was like, no one raves about this game more than Alex from CrossButton VR, so I thought I'd check it out. And I was like, oh, there you go. Everyone's heard of this game from CrossButton VR, it seems. Like you said, I mean, Jammy as well. You, made him play that.
I absolutely made. I hounded down Jammy until he would play it. I'm like, come on, I'll get you a code, and then you play this game, and he loved it.
Because he was like a year later, wasn't he? And he finally put out a review for it. And, that it's exactly that sort of thing. That is when we're talking about we're giving the kind of devs the spotlight, and I think. I mean, I don't want to sort of big ourselves up, but I think with cases like Masternoid, like it's such a privilege and honor to be able to give exposure to these games that we love, because we're not journalists, we're not doing it as a job or anything. We don't, we're genuinely just like our fans, and we're just passionate about this stuff. And if we find something that we love, and that for us, for me personally, anyway, it's PSVR 2. It's just full of all these kind of passion project indie games. That there are a few big games on it, not enough, but there are so many of these smaller games that are so interesting and fun and made by real people that we can actually come and are willing to come and talk to us and tell us all about it and stuff. People like Petros and people like Kane, and it just York. It's so fantastic.
And it was the same recently with like Extreme 90s skiing and like the Tuner Max guys, because they even mentioned me in the press release. Oh my god, like that's my name in the press release, and I'm shouting my husband and I'm like, look.
Who's that? That could be any Alex.
And it's just like, oh, actually, I mean, and we genuinely, the things that we say, like we're not here, we're not the type of people, and I think it's been very clear over 100 episodes. We're genuine in what we're saying about these games. We're not making the stuff up to try and like sell it, or like this is our true experience, and I think I'm quite proud of the fact that we've stuck like that from the beginning. And we're here to give, as you say, Laurie, to give voices to the little guys, because nobody else has been willing to do it over the life. And that was, as you said, we get so frustrated around people saying there were no games, and they're like, there's 260 games or something on the PSN store now for PSVR 2. Like, loads of games. Loads. You just need to look for them, mate.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's we did an episode about is it the new Vita, and I think I stand by that. I think it's so like Sony just created this amazing piece of hardware, and they don't support it, and they're not supporting PSVR2 in any kind of meaningful sense. But that doesn't mean that other indie devs, the Vita had such a passionate cult fan base who just loved it for this, like all these indie games that were just there. It's just this was kind of before Steam Decks. So, it was the place to play those sorts of games. And it was just fantastic, and there was so much to play on there. But if you ask anyone else, to it's dead. It's just because Sony in this case, they are just a hardware manufacturer. They're not being the software support in any meaningful way like we'd expect them to and like we'd hope them to, which is, don't get me wrong, that is disappointing, but that doesn't mean there isn't anything else to play, and you should just to ignore all these other games. It's just so sort of narrow-minded and just such a shame, really.
Yeah, it's like what I always said with the PSVR 1. It was in the same thing. Like, yeah, you had the few odd things that Sony pushed out every now and then. Other than that, it was all indie titles, and at least you got games to play on it. That's all that mattered. I think anyone that came from the PSVR 1 should have kind of expected this in a sense, not for it to mean maybe would have expected more than just one game from Sony. And yes, I still expected more than that. But in the grand scheme of things, there has not been one moment I've ever looked at a headset and went, I'm disappointed with my purchase. Never.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I had only paid £350 for it, like some people.
I mean, I'm the idiot that has two of them and bought the one off their partner. So, I mean, I'm the one who's still losing here.
Yeah, no, I think it's back up to that full price now as well, isn't it? That is like, that is a crazy price. Don't buy it for $300. I would very much struggle to recommend it now, knowing that it regularly goes down to $350 in price. Just like, if you're interested in buying one, just maybe hold it out, because if it's full price at £500 odd, don't buy it. Just wait, be patient, and they'll knock the price down again. Days of play, that'll come up, I think, in May or June. It'll be
usually May, isn't
again.
It?
Yeah, it'll be $350 again at that point. So that'll be the time to get it now if you haven't got one already. I mean, I've got to give a shout out to York, because we've had him on twice, and I think it was the 5th episode we had him on. And God, love him or hate him, because I know there's a lot of people that we had some comments on the episode, but I really like the guy, and I think his interview was just like, we did the interview, and then me and Ben and Alex were just like, that is just like absolutely fascinating. It just completely changed how I think about this stuff, and the idea of how just VR is a medium and why it's special. And he kind of explained and kind of verbalized a lot of the stuff that kind of been thinking and couldn't quite pin down or really get my head around. He articulated so well about the fact that you've got 100% of a player's attention, you've got all their focus, so what you do with it is really crucial, and that just gives you, it's more like being in the theatre where you've just got that, when you're in a theatre you can't get your phone out and just start looking at it. It's that much more intimate atmosphere you have, and that's what VR can do. And then at the moment we are still in that phase, we're kind of at the arcades back again. We've kind of regressed back to being in the arcade with all these different types of arcade like gameplay. And it's just, if you've not listened to that episode, go back to episode 5. That was one of the first ones we did with Jorg. It's just such a fascinating insight as to how what makes VR special as a medium to play games in.
Yeah, we still wait for that fishing game.
Fishing with Saddam.
Yes.
It's coming, isn't it? It's definitely going to arrive one of these days. That's the one that's going to be published by Sony. That's why it's taking so long.
Mm-hmm. They're just making sure they've got all the copyrights in place.
I mean, we didn't do one this year for various reasons, but obviously got to give a shout out to the Big Fat PSVR2 Quiz 2023.
I was going to mention that as well, yeah.
Having Reece on, having Phil 2 on as the team. Reece, you and I were on the team.
We were terrible. I
think, we laughed, didn't we? And your forfeit was to have to come and present on the show.
Is that what it was?
That's how you got the gig, right?
Damn.
In a parallel universe, we've got Phil 2 as the host. But I wouldn't have been able to cope.
And I would have had the t-shirt of the old logo. Damn.
The sexual tension between Phil 2 and Alex every week, I wouldn't have been able to cope. I wouldn't have to keep it going.
I think it's more between you and Phil 2, to be fair.
Oh, yeah. We've earned the jury.
Some interesting love triangle here, isn't there?
And there's me just watching again every episode, this parallel universe. I don't get it. When are they going to start talking about VR again?
Just that is it. If Reece comes in, he's like an absolute VR expert, knows everything, plays everything, thinking, right, I'm going to get some really good, I'm going to ace this quiz. And Ben's like, what is my favourite sandwich filling? It's like, what the fuck? I don't know.
I
don't
have
know,
been
that's what
to
the
all of
question
these countries. Which one did I like the most?
But that's the thing. This is the funniest thing. And I don't think I've ever told anyone this. Like, prior to that thing, he was like, we're going to be doing a big fat VR because I was like, great. I started Googling online, like, different VR headsets that you might mention and things like that, going through, like, when they might have released. And then I got onto that and I was like, this was a waste of my fucking time in terms of, like, I researched VR even more than I needed
revised
to.
for
Yeah.
this. That
I was-
wasn't on the syllabus.
It's like, it was great though, like, because it was just such stupid questions. Like, even looking back at, like, just it was when you got, was it the gestation periods of animals and things like that? I was like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah.
All of us were sitting there like, I don't know what to think of this anymore.
What's the gestation period of a deer?
We need to do another one of those at some point. Like,
Say, play your cards out. I was like, I know more than a deer. I think it's
no
it's
googling,
gestation
no
period.
googling.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that was close to VR that was tell me the Metacritics of these VR games and yeah, some other little bits and bobs. I still look back,
Then it
you know,
went on a tangent from
yeah,
there.
it lost its ways there after that. But no, it was hilarious nonetheless. It was great. It was so
Yeah.
unexpected.
The weirdest fucking quiz I've ever done.
It's like a pub quiz, but everybody was already drunk when they started writing the questions.
Yeah, so that was that was a good one, fair to say. I'm just trying to think of some more recent ones as well, because there's been. I'm just trying to
So
not
the
get
episode we
the
did with
recent.
Miles as well. I think that was a really good one. Hearing his like thoughts on VR, talking about how PSVR 2 is going and his mindset. You know, we went over the marketing and all that kind of stuff. I thought that was a really good episode.
Well, yeah, and a similar token to that, Henry as well. We had Henry
Yeah,
Sutcliffe
Henry was
on
another
from
great one to have
Upload.
on.
Yeah, I mean, hats off to Henry and Upload VR, because putting the news together would be a lot fucking harder if it wasn't for Upload VR.
We
so
actually
thank
said
you
that,
and
you
the
said
work.
that to him in person as well, didn't you? It's like,
Yeah,
finally said hello to him. Hi, Henry. Alex unfortunately missed him again.
I did. Sorry, Henry. One day.
Yeah,
One
but
day,
you
yeah.
missed. Yeah, were you on that episode?
No,
No,
I
he
was-
wasn't there that
No.
week. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't see him in person or on the episode. Yeah, but he's a great guy,
Right.
and again, well worth checking that one out
he's
as well.
brilliant.
Yeah,
I was here for Jammy though. I mean, it was that whole like, what do you mean you haven't played Mastermind?
Yeah,
No,
he got aggressive with him. Yeah.
I was like, he's such a nice guy. Like such a
Yeah,
he's
Jammy's
like he's my not my favorite guest, but I just like I love Jammy.
Yeah, he's so
yeah.
humble with his reviews, his videos. I think he's such a great person to kind of, be like the poster child of PSVR 2 in a sense, because he's just so happy about it.
I mean, the guy binged Behemoth in like 2 days, didn't he? Just
No,
didn't
it was
merge.
less than that. I think it was like a night, wasn't it? I think we got the keys. I think it was 12 hours or something. He stayed up all night playing that. I don't know how he did that. Like,
Yeah, and then he's kind of
go to
emerged,
bed.
blinking. It's like, fuck, I've got to
Yeah.
put together a YouTube video review about this
Yeah.
now. But he did it. He's the only person out there that had a sort of 10-minute review out on
Yeah.
Ready for Embargo. Absolute legend. So yeah, check that out.
And just to clarify, I don't have a favorite guest. I just meant that was
No,
what I meant.
you
It wasn't
said
mean he
Jimmy.
wasn't my favorite.
I
guest.
don't think any of us have favourite guests, but I think in
No.
terms of like having a
I do.
content
Phil
creator
too.
on.
Phil too.
Well, you're his favourite as well. But no, I think in terms of like having a content creator on, I mean, we haven't had any. Saying we have to like get like someone do AI generate a photo of Laurie and Phil too. That's what we're gonna have to. That'll be the thumbnail.
In
Once it's
his
done.
dreams. In his
Yeah.
dreams.
He's about 3 feet taller than Laurie though. So
But no, I mean, we haven't had many content creators on. I say we haven't had many. We haven't. Jamie's pretty much. Jamie and Miles are the only two content creators we've had on, and I think.
And your good self.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I was going to say your first episode was episode 35.
Yeah, it was the
I went
seventh
back-
guest episode. And I
Yeah,
remember my face being like smallly planted in the corner.
in the corner.
Yeah, I was like, look,
that's a thumbnail.
yeah, good old Ben, and he's good thumbnails. But no, again,
Yeah, but that was good because we interviewed you and you were like, we were having you on because you were like our first content creator and we were like, oh, you're the absolutely played and you know what you're talking about. So it was great just to be able to really grill you and talk to you on about stuff and to get your input onto things. Although ironically, you hadn't played the seventh guest.
I have it now. I do have
we've
it.
got
Yeah.
this. We've got this VR expert. He's played everything on it. And we're going to talk about the seventh guest, which
I
she's
haven't
not
played
played.
everything. I try to play as much as I can. But no,
You've not played
yeah.
Seven Guests yet, have you?
I've got it. I finally got it.
So good. One of my
it's one of
favourites.
them ones
Play
where
it.
I know it's one of the ones where I've got time. I'm going to sit down and play it properly. You know what it's like. You jump from game to game. I'm still trying to get through the non-VR games that I want to play at the moment as well. So, you know, I don't want to miss out on those. But no, we've had some great guests on, and I think it's been, you know, fantastic. But I think one that I have to mention that I think still to this day I still mention to people when we interviewed Ben, you know, Coolbet from Coolbet from Toast Interactive. And he had his little bird on his shoulder the whole time.
Yeah.
And that it's such a random thing. And like literally every day we ask you a question, you just hear the bird go off, and Connie the bird, that was it. You just hear her go off, and it's like, is the microphone going to pick that up? No, it'll be fine. It's every time for it. It's like the bird just makes a noise, and it was
Just add some character.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And it's like, how often can you say something? Yeah, I interviewed somebody and they had a bird on their shoulder. You know, you don't. So it was great. So that was
It's like a doctor with a bird on his shoulder who's an expert in VR content.
marketing. Yeah, it's brilliant. So no, there's been some great ones for sure.
Yeah, I just got one final guest to shout out, and that was we did the Foglands interview. We had Zara and Sam on.
Oh yeah,
and that was a really candid one because at the time, like, they'd obviously put out the with apologies statement, and it was really great having them on and just being really frank about how the kind of game's reception had hit them and their kind of plans for improving the game and turning it around, and the fact that they actually did listen and take it on board and stuff. So, it's great when we could just talk to people and just gush about how much we love stuff. But in that, that was kind of notable for me that we actually have people. It's not just sucking up to people and just like gushing at how much we love the games. It's also, let's have a bit more of a kind of interview where we can not supposed to critique, but more kind of that felt more like an interview rather than just like, oh, we love your game, man. It was just that we actually sort of had to think about the questions to ask there and ones that were going to actually add something to the debate and the discussion around it all. So I felt like that I felt quite proud of that interview after we did the episode.
Yeah, that was a good one. I think that was my first interview thing that I did on the show as well. And I was like, I don't know what to ask here. Like, when do I chime in? This feels, it's a very a surreal kind of experience to do that for the first time because I've never done anything like that. So,
yeah. Well, good stuff. You mentioning Ben there just reminded me that it's I've agreed to go for... No, Ben from Toast. Agreed to go for a beer when he wants to visit the UK. I said, right, we're going to organise a pub crawl, so we can all drag the man out.
Yeah, I'd be all over that.
I'm sure he wasn't just being polite to me online.
I'm sure he wasn't.
This way he messages back, he's like, dude, he was actually just being polite to you online.
So, fuck, he thinks I actually want to go for a beer. Yeah, it's fine.
I don't want to go on a beer with this random podcaster.
No, I'll tell him you're going to be there though, and he'll be there, so it's fine.
No, he was absolutely lovely. Like, he's always easy to talk to. So, and that's something with the VR just in general. Like with everyone, like you said, community managers, publishers, developers, they've all been so easy to talk to. Like, take James for instance from Incisive. Again, another one we still talk to heavily. Like, he always lets us know updates of what's happening with their games, what they're doing next to the DLC. He did that huge giveaway collaboration that we did, that video with the goals, and I had to save a certain amount, which was such a cool idea. And it was another way for us to try doing different style videos.
And he always still blamed it in the clothes horse.
Yeah, that darn clothes horse. Somewhere here. It does exist. It's real. But no, it's been a great, I say a great 100 episodes. I mean, it's great 50 odd episodes that I've been here for. And yeah, I've been having a great time with it. So thank you for bringing me on. I suppose that's a highlight. And it's its own regard that is a highlight, I suppose.
Yeah, well,
for me anyway. Not for Alex. He's like, fucking hell, I have to play VR with this.
Can't shake him off now. I'm like,
yeah. Alex, do you want to play some VR with me? No, I'm busy tonight. God. Oh, I'll ask Laurie. Don't have Plus. Okay, sorry guys. I'm going to play some games myself.
Go ask Ben. Ben will be there.
Ben, do you want to play Helldivers? Piss off. That's just, I love it. That's a running joke to this day now. Like, every day I just message him in that.
Yeah, every time I boot up Helldivers just to invite Ben along. Well, I can't, so don't have Plus, but I would. Good. All right. Well, that was first 100 episodes, and lovely to have a it's nice to remember. Just kind of you forget all the things that we've done. It's just there's been so many episodes, so it's nice to take a moment to reflect and look back and to have a laugh over some of the old things that we've done. And if anyone's got any highlights or things that they enjoyed that we did, if there's any features that we did in the past that you think we should do again, or if anyone's got any ideas for things we should be talking about or people we should be interviewing, please jump in the comments and let us know. And if you too would like to do a Reece and present the show, then please send your applications to send them to Alex.
I was about to say here's to 100 more, but fuck you.
Yeah, well, but,
We didn't say it was you that was going, did it?
Oh fuck no!
yeah,
Alex,
no,
you
it's
can't
not
go.
you. Yeah, we're like the Sugar Babes. We've got a constantly like rotating lineup of
Laurie
people
can't
that
go.
leave and
He's
come back.
the one who's got to do the intro, and you can't go because you know it's Scottish. We need you to stay.
Is that the best you can hear? You Scottish?
You're
Fuck,
just
it was
Have at
Scottish.
least one Scot. All right,
Yeah.
well, come on.
He
Let's,
actually plays VR games with me. You don't, so he needs to stay.
well, yes. Well, thanks everyone. If you're still listening and you've put up with us prattling on about ourselves for half an hour, then thank you for humouring us and giving us that chance. If you didn't like that chat, then you should have looked at the timestamps and just skipped ahead to the news, which starts right now.
It doesn't. We messed up the timestamps. Go back 5 seconds.
I have no idea what's going on. No, and you don't have any final things to add? I don't want to cut you guys off.
No,
well,
just thank you to everyone for being here for
Yeah.
100 episodes, for listening, for commenting, for liking, for just,
yeah, no, thanks everyone. Thank you to all the devs and people who supported, other people in the community, other creators that support us and share our stuff. Hugely appreciated. We feel massively privileged and fortunate to be able to do this and to have an audience that tunes in every week. It blows my mind. So thank you.
Much appreciated.
Talking of things that we'll be tuning into, the VR showcase that is returning in March. We heard this week from Jamie that the VR showcase is coming back, and that's not too long to wait, is it? Because when were the last ones they did? There was the summer, was the first one in the summer, then there was another one in October, September, I want to say, like a more of an indie one. Maybe I'm making all that up.
roughly that, because there was one, the first one was before Gamescom, and then I think it was October, or was it not long after Gamescom they did indie one? So yeah.
Something like that. I can't remember the specific dates, but all we know is it was a great showcase, and by the sounds of it, this one's looking like it's probably going to be something similar, because after they announced that, you saw the Hitman developers retweeting it, you know, putting their little eye emoji. You had a couple of other devs as well, you know, reposting it, which hopefully we start seeing some of these big things there, which if so is great for Jamie pushing this.
Yeah, so we should be tuning into that one, and that was, I'm sure we'll be covering all of the stuff that's on there when that is. We don't know exactly when in March it's going to be yet, so we'll update people when we hear on that one. Next up, we have a new game coming to PSVR 2. This is the House of Da Vinci VR, which is out already on Quest, I believe. Did you guys play
it's
that
on
one?
Quest and Steam. Yeah.
I haven't played it. I believe we have it on the
We do.
family library.
Yes,
right?
we have
Okay,
it in
cool.
Steam, yes.
Yeah, I
That
haven't
is
got around
one
to
when
it.
I saw that one on Quest, I was like, oh, that's annoying. That it looks like, because it looks very much like The Room and Seventh Guest.
Yeah.
I was like, that looks like absolutely the sorts of games. I love The Room and Seventh Guest. Absolutely, like really love them. So I was a bit annoyed that this wasn't on PSVR 2. So I'm glad that it now finally is coming across. We don't know when exactly. It's just coming soon. So hopefully next few weeks, I presume.
But it is very good, and it's come out with quite high regards, and they were flat games originally. I'm sure, because there's a sequel. There's another one. I think either just come out or just coming out in terms of the flat game. I could probably be making that up, but I'm pretty sure that's correct.
He isn't making it up.
looking
It's just
forward to
in their
this
plans.
but it is. I think this would be good for PSVR 2. I think this is the kind of game it needs, and I think it will look nice and play nice in the headset. Looking forward to this one. It ticks many of my boxes.
I'm looking forward to it because, again, I prefer the convenience of just jumping straight into playing on the PSVR 2. Whereas if you only have this on PC, it's a rigmarole sometimes to want to have to settle that up. I say that's a bad thing. It's not. If you've already got it all set up, you're fine.
Yeah, more
So-
games which don't revolve just around running around killing things. It's always good to me.
Always
So
good.
yeah,
What's your favourite?
No, it is not. I like these puzzle games, so yeah, I'll be playing this one for sure when it comes across soon. PSVR 2. Another game that's coming across PSVR 2 is a game called Hide the Corpse. Speaking of running around killing things.
This one's fun.
If you played this one, Reece?
I have. I played this on Quest a few times. It's just silly, like you got to find all the different places you can hide this body before the police arrive at your door and find that you're trying to hide a corpse.
Okay, that sounds quite funny.
I played it when it was originally in early access. I haven't played all the new levels they've added since, but I remember filling up a bathtub of water, throwing the body in there, and then trying to weigh him down and putting bubbles in there so they couldn't see that there was any body in the water. This is a game. Anyone that watches this, by the way, this is the game. Okay.
Yeah,
It's just it's a very odd one, and you lift up the cushions on the sofa, and there's actually, for some weird reason, a cutout ready for a body to be placed there, which can just make me chuckle. But it's silly. And everything's weighted as well, so it makes it quite interesting to play. You'll be trying to lift this body, and then you get one arm in, then you have to kind of move the torso, and yeah, they've done it pretty well.
it sounds a bit like not like What the Bat, but that same very kind of silly, quick, slapstick, that kind of very daft and funny. So that's good. I mean, yeah, I like more games like this as well. Just VR is fun. It should be silly.
Yeah, it's just a good laugh, and I think a lot of people enjoy that type of easy-going game as opposed to, again, a huge mission or something to have to listen through. It's something you can quickly play for 30 minutes and feel like you've achieved something, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Again, no exact release date on this one. Just coming in 2025. It's out on Quest at the moment. It's coming to Steam as well this year. So again, that PSVR 2 library of games to play in this year, or the release calendar for 2025. We didn't know much a few weeks ago, but it's filling up. There's more and more stuff keeps coming across, which is good to see. You expect to see eventually stuff comes to Quest, and then developers will get around to porting it all to PSVR 2. So I think this is going to be a trend of what we'll see all year. Really, I think we may or may not get any big games. May or may get some big games from Sony, but there certainly will be a big stream of these kind of fun, mad indie games. So
exactly that.
Always good. Always good to play them. Another one in this same category is Cave Crave, which is coming across. Now this is I don't know. Have you played this one, Reece? This is you just basically the VR.
No.
Okay, so it's not out anyway yet. Okay, so
it's coming to all platforms at around about the same time, I think, unless it's by 3A Games, the one who did Bridge the Gap. So
yeah, it sounds very. Is this supposed to be like a kind of horror, scary thing? It's basically you are just caving in really small. It's like when you hear those stories of people that actually in real life get stuck in caves, and then you see they do a little artist or a recreation of the cave system, and they show how someone's body gets to sort of squeeze through. It's just why would you do that? Why? It's absolutely terrifying way people explore these really narrow little crevices in rocks to sort of get to some chamber or something. I don't know why the fuck you do it at all. But to get somewhere, and why would you shove your body into a crevice in the rock like that? But if you always wanted to do that, you can now do that in VR. You can go and explore people's crevices in VR. Sorry, did I say something?
Right. Better stuck up in those rubber gloves.
Definitely need some precautions anyway. You don't want to go in without protection. Reece, come on, this is a serious. What are you doing?
I should have expected you to say it, and for some reason I was like, "Nah, he ain't gonna do it." And then
You won't go there.
No, Laurie, he's professional.
I have literally no idea what you're talking about. I'm just telling you about Cave Crave, Reece. Stop making this into some sort of childish.
You're right.
That you're doing here.
Someone Pike fell up off the floor.
Yeah, we're talking about his favourite moments. His favourite moments.
Fuck's sake, yeah. No, I'm looking forward to trying this one, but again, it's one of those ones where I'm a bit concerned whether there's going to be spiders or anything like that.
Spiders in the cave.
Yeah, because if I'm just crawling through the darkness or something, I see a spider crawling, I don't think I'm going to be too happy with that. As long as they don't make them obnoxiously big, this is, I should be okay with it, but we'll see.
Small crevices only.
Yeah, nothing big in the small crevice.
Yeah, it could be one that you have, you get those haptic vests that people wear. And if you're in a really tight spot,
And
it could
it's
just the whole thing could just crush you. That would be good.
You start feeling the vibration going on.
Very
Okay.
immersive. Yeah.
Or
Or if there's like an earthquake, yeah, if there's an underground earthquake, you can just feel the whole thing just crushing your body.
I still
Ultimate
need to
realism.
get a beat haptic. I still need one of those.
You do, yeah. Okay, well, Cave Crave. That's out in the spring. Okay, so there's a new game that's revealed coming in the spring. So that's good. More games to play on PSVR 2, for Christ's sake. Something that is coming out to VR, but not PSVR 2, because we do talk about Quest as well. Farming Simulator has been announced for Quest. It's coming on February the 28th, so it's coming in a few weeks. So that looks like something that a lot of people are going to love. No, I see. People love these sim games, don't they?
Maybe, yeah.
They do.
People love them, and I think, yeah, because quite a lot of effort to go and be an actual farmer in real life. So why not? No, these sim games that they do, I think they've got a big following, haven't they? So
yeah, it looks quite fun. I was watching the trailer, and some of the stuff looks quite in depth, like the way you have to kind of mix all the the actual seeds and things like that. But then I noticed there was also a bit of a power washing thing in there where you clean your tractor and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, there we go. We got a bit of power wash. We know that's going to feel.
They're not daft, are they? They're not daft.
Yeah.
They know what people like.
Throwing the seeds on the ground and things like that. I just think it's going to be fun. And it takes me back to like Innkeeper VR, like where I didn't expect to like that game. And then I still play it now. Like a game that I spoke about once on here, and I'm still playing it, every now and then, just kind of getting that simulator going. It's great. So hopefully it has that same effect on me where I just don't expect it's going to be something I like, and then it takes me by surprise.
You may become a farmer.
Yeah, might see me just coming in with a little straw hat on. Yeah.
Oh, I'd love that for you, Reece.
Driving in on my little tractor.
Dungarees.
Yeah.
With all this while wearing a Quest 3 headset. Brilliant.
Why not? Why not? Another game that is now out on Quest is Fitness Fables. I'll give this one a shout out because it looks really good. Have you played this one?
It is good.
Reece?
It is.
It's basically, it looks like Ring Fit Adventure, but...
Yeah. It's pretty much that. Yeah.
The graphics look and the whole styling of it, they're not daft. I can see where they've taken inspiration from. It looks very much like Ring Fit Adventure, but in VR.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I gave it a go, I think it was last night or the night before, and I dived in, and it gives you all different things to do per level. So, like, sometimes you'll be, like, rotating these wheels, and you'll be kayaking, and you'll be punching bricks, flapping your wings. I say your wings, your arms, obviously, to kind of mimic that in the games. There's all these different things to get you moving along this kind of set path.
Mm-hmm.
And there's collectibles, it's just... It's pretty cool. Like it looks really good in the headset. Like the resolution's absolutely clean. So yeah, it's definitely one to play. And I hope this comes over to other platforms as well, because it's one of them games where like it blurs fitness into it, and it feels like you're playing more of a game than anything else. So definitely.
Yeah, I mean, Ring Fit VR was very much a fitness game, but it was a lot of fun as well to play. It was a very compelling gameplay loop, and it was so silly and charming and stuff. It was very Nintendo.
No,
So
it's a good
copied
one.
that.
I think Alex will enjoy that one.
I think so. I need to try it. I haven't tried it yet. And I need to get in amongst all these fitness games again. I just lack the motivation.
Well, I was like, I think so. I went out for a meal. So then I think, it was on Saturday. I was like, okay, I'm going to try and work off some of that meal now. And I was like, okay, Fitness Fables, I haven't tried that yet. Let's give that a go. And it gives you a calorie counter as well while you're actually playing it. So it tells you what you're burning. No, it was a good experience all round.
I think, it's a smart genre for Quest, because I think Quest is a more natural place for the fitness games, because there's no cables
definitely.
and tether and stuff, and it just feels a bit easier to do that wherever you want. And I think, go on.
I think that one would work on PSVR 2. I think it would if you got the cable like around your back or anything like that. I think this one would work. I think any of the ones where like you constantly moving and climbing walls and all that kind of stuff. Madness. Yeah, I think maybe not as much.
Cool. All right, Fitness Fables. Another new game that we'll just talk about. Let's get through tonight. Demio is getting an official new entry in this Demio series, and this is Demio Cross Dungeons and Dragons Battle Mart. Which, it looks. I mean, it's an official D&D collaboration for Demio. So Demio, when I played it, I kind of assumed it was, not assumed, I knew it wasn't, but it felt like you're playing D&D anyway. It was just that whole kind of world. So the fact that they've now got a proper licensed crossover for doing some Dungeons and Dragons stuff. I imagine that's going to be huge, right? Surely.
I think for a
Indeed.
lot of people it will, but yeah, I think they'll jump straight into it.
And I think my understanding is it's not even just VR. It's going to be a flat game as well.
That'd do well for them.
Yeah, so I have played some Demio battles. I jumped in and tried that, and it's it's for me it's more kind of geared up to those multiplayer things. You can play it single player as well, but it's clearly designed to be played around with other people. And I think if you've got a friend that wants to play this with, I think it just would be such a good game to hang out with a friend and just play a board game with, and because you could both be there around the table and chatting and stuff and playing the game together. It's a lot of fun, and these games they look. If this one feels a bit more accessible than the original Demio did to me, because Demio I've played that before and that felt brutally rock hard. Whereas at least if you're playing against other people, it's not so. You've got more of a chance to win because you're against some more human AI and stuff.
I think Battles is just far more accessible in itself, just because it's a much shorter game. Whereas the main game of Demio can go on for weeks, I think.
Yeah. I remember that time you and Ben
yours?
tried to play it, and just played it for like 2 hours, and then we just lost. We came into a room with some high-powered enemies, and we're like, oh, for fuck's sake, that was a lot of work for getting nowhere. I don't think I played it against you, so yeah. But Demio Battles seems much more accessible, and so this new one, I'm sure will be even more accessible, which because they're obviously going to try and get it to as broad an audience as possible. So yeah, I hope that does numbers for them, and it's going to be massive.
Good.
Yeah, so Demio. Some sad news. We just cover off the Fast Travel Games layoffs, which is obviously not a good news story to be sharing. But there we are. It's Fast Travel Games. They've put out statements blaming they've had lower than expected or hoped for sales in 2024, and making some cutbacks and some redundancies. So that is a real shame to hear, because obviously they've put out some great games, and they've been quite a prolific publisher in 2024. So best of luck to everyone that's been affected by that, and I hope that they can turn it around with their next release, The Midnight Walk, which is obviously one of the biggest games we've got to look forward to now on PSVR 2.
Yep.
My
most hyped one. So
yeah, I'm hoping that feels like there's even more riding on that game now. So hopefully.
And hopefully we still see some of the other games that haven't made their way to PSVR 2 as well, because you've still got Action Hero and Mannequin are the two that off the top of my head that are the kind of bigger the releases that they made towards the back end of last year on Quest that haven't hit PSVR 2. I think should be good. So I think particularly Mannequin, I think that was a game that would put the PSVR 2 audience a lot. I think it's the kind of game that would do quite well in PSVR 2.
Yeah. It was originally slated as well, wasn't it, for PSVR 2?
I'm sure it was,
The original trailer had it, because I remember seeing a post of them asking one of the devs, and they said that's kind of not where they're looking at doing it at the moment now. But yeah, I think we've mentioned behind the scenes loads of times that it's something that would work so well on the PSVR 2, because you don't have anything similar to that game. It's such a unique experience. So yeah.
Well, for me, I think Action Hero looks.
Action Hero's great.
Yeah, that looked like something I really wanted to play, even though it is a kind of a shooty bang. But it's a much more kind of cartoony kind of. It's not a realistic, gritty sort of thing, is it? It's very
true. But with how quick,
I
was gonna say, with how quick that game made me drop to the floor, I don't think I'd play it on my PSVR 2, because I was literally like having to lay down on the floor on some points, where just dodging the laser on one of the levels, and just it was crazy. So that was a good workout though.
Yeah, so that's Fast Travel Games, and fingers crossed, and everyone can go out and buy Midnight Walk to help that studio out. Just a couple of, just conscious of time, but just to cover off a couple of more updates. We've got another big expansion for No Man's Sky. They just never stop making that game. This is the World's Part 2 update. Is added even more stuff to this game. I don't know why they just don't make No Man's Sky 2 at this point, because I feel like more people would jump in now. Now they've got a fully fleshed out game. All they need to do is kind of re-release it and just call it No Man's Sky 2 and just give it a bit more of a new sort of story take on it. And people would just come at it fresh, because I feel like people feel like, oh, I've not played it. I've never played it. I'll just wait now because it's been so long. But this new one, it's got this is all about oceans. I think you can go really deep. There's new different types of planets and stuff, and millions more planets to explore, trillions more planets to explore, probably. But yeah, more and more weather and terrain and things. But I think this one's got really deep oceans now. It's added. You can just like a whole underwater game now as well. It's fucking insane, really.
Yeah, it does look really good. I'm still waiting for when Alex wants to dive into it, so I can play some of it again in co-op.
I really need to try it.
Yeah, it used to be one I played in co-op I think it was every Friday night with one of my mates, and yeah, it was great fun. But that was back on the PSVR 1. I've not actually played much of it on the PSVR 2, other than when I just went on to see what it was like.
I've never played it flat or in VR.
Really?
And
oh, wow.
I feel like now it's just, well, I'm waiting for them to finish it. But I feel like it's
clearly never going to.
But it does seem like the sort of game that you could just live, like there's just an endless amount of things to do, and it's just baffling. And like if you want to just play in VR and you can be in space and you can just jump down to a planet and you can explore on foot, or you can now go underwater. It's just like in terms of like a VR simulator, it's just a whole
it's a stunning
world
game
that you can be in. It's just we talk about the whole power of VR to take you to these worlds. It's like, well, here's a game that someone created that just is just waiting to be explored in VR and just totally blow your mind when you're doing it. Yeah. Wow. No Man's Sky. So another update there, and a big update for Batman Arkham Shadows on Quest there. It's got a new game plus been added to it, and some new post-credit scenes, some other bits and bobs they've added to it. So yeah, that's good. So if you finished Batman Arkham and you wanted more, then jump into New Game Plus. You can keep playing it now.
It's true.
Yeah, what's this new post-game? So if you complete New Game Plus, it gives you a new post-credit cinematic, apparently.
Yes, it does.
You're going to do that, aren't you?
Because we live in a world of social media, it was spoiled for me within the first 5 minutes of just browsing Twitter one day. So yeah, thanks for that. But I'm still going to play through the New Game Plus. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure Blue Sky are doing the exact same thing. So it is what it is. It just kind of it ties up the story nicely and kind of links. I think it kind of makes you think they're going to make more going forward and continuing their story and things like that. So it's interesting, but we'll see.
So final bit of news then. This is some bit of meta, little Quest related news. Turns out they're smashing it. They've highest ever quarterly revenue. Smashing it, yeah. They've made more money last quarter, which is probably all just down to I was going to say Quest 3S. 3S, that is like the ultimate mass market, out the box, wire-free VR standalone unit. It's clearly it ticks all those boxes. There's always been something that's not quite it's always held people back, but it seems like that Quest 3S is they've finally got they've kind of ticked all the boxes for people. And Meta correspondingly had a huge Q4 last year. I think over 1 million people have played Batman now. They sold 1 million copies, or 1 million people have played it. You can't really say how many people have sold it because it comes with the headset. But yeah, 1 million people played that game, so that's cool. That's cool. It's going to be one of the biggest VR games ever. You'd have to assume.
One of them, I'd hope.
Yeah. So. Yeah, good to see that even if Sony is just not really sort of talking much about, we didn't really talk about Shuhei Yoshida talking. We did an interview, didn't he?
I think we mentioned it.
We mentioned it. We didn't really focus on it too much, but he was like apologising for the fact that VR didn't take off, or PSVR didn't take off in the way that he'd kind of predicted it might have done 7 or 8 years ago, whenever it was that PSVR 1 came out. So whatever you say about PlayStation, it looks like Elite Quest is finding an audience and it's growing the market there. So that is good. But it's not great. It's great to see. So yeah.
And they're still shoveling money into it.
Yeah. And they're games on that storefront eventually come over to PSVR 2 and sometimes Steam, and it is good for the ecosystem. It's really
definitely good for PSVR 2 fans. Absolutely. Because exactly as you say, like, make the games, get as big an audience as possible. And I do think probably there's a lot of people buying Quest that aren't gamers, that they are just doing it for other things like porn or other stuff that's on there. But
can we say that on YouTube? Alex, what's the terms and agreements?
I'm sure many people, that's what they buy.
This channel is now gone.
Been nuked.
100 episode banned.
But so they'll make the games next for the biggest audiences. But I imagine that you could probably, if they then re-release the games on PSVR 2, there's a real passionate audience that are hungry for these games, and they and we see it all the time from people saying they put the game out and it was worth the effort importing it because it sold really well on PSVR 2. So it's great. The more games that people make for Quest, the more games we'll get to play on PSVR 2. Absolutely. And it's just the bigger the market is, the more people will keep making VR games, and then we'll get more ported over to PSVR 2.
True.
So
they just need to improve the marketplace on Quest.
Yeah, I've been hearing about this, about the
thing.
store. I think Uploader are planning, they're doing some research. I think Henry's talked about doing some research into that, trying to interview some devs and stuff just to try and find out what it's actually like, because it seems like the discoverability on it is just something that's gone wrong somewhere.
mean, if it's bad for us as consumers looking at that thing, like, it's a headache just to browse it. Like, I don't even bother now. Like, so if a new game comes out and somebody goes, "Oh, have you played this?" No, I have no idea. Unless I hear about it on social media, I do not search that store anymore.
It's too difficult to find anything, or like even like, and the stuff moves all the time. Like, oh, you're trying to find the coming soon stuff, and it's like, I don't know what's tearing. Why you showed me this, and why you showed me that, and why can't you just show me like the top this and
and
even
when you search a game as well, like its actual title, sometimes that game will never come up, and it's so weird. It's like, was this game out? Nope, it's out. It's just you can't find it at all. You need the link. Like, it's stupid. It really is.
Yeah, that's annoying. But I find it so weird. Like, if you've got a digital store, there must be so much like just shovelware that goes onto it. But the people that the people that run that store must know. Okay, these are actual games that are worth. Like, why is there not editor's picks every month or every week or whatever?
Yeah.
With here's the games that are kind of the actual games that you should give some attention to and just have a look at. And there'll be loads of other stuff, and I suppose it's a PR job to make sure that they're on that list, but at least then people can send that list, and that list will have links to all the store things, and it's just, discoverability, it seems crucial.
It really is.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, that's it for the news, and I think that's it for this episode. Do we have any final things to mention, chaps? I think what we've been playing, if there's any burning things to report on, otherwise we can cover it next week.
Save that for next.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for tuning in and looking back over the first 100 episodes with us. Here's to the next 100. Thanks again for listening. And if you've enjoyed this episode, please tell your family and friends all about us, and please get more involved and jump into our Discord and say hello. I have been your host, Laurie. These two have been Alex and Reece, and we will see you again next time. Until then, though, it's goodbye.